This is more about life in the time of the coronavirus epidemic. Samuel Pepys here, in the year 0 CE, a decidedly strange time. I gave some thought to switching things up and adopting Tom Paine as a pen name, but he wrote Common Sense, and there's none of that around now. We're all corona crazy, and I'll be sticking with Samuel. Our mayor, the panhandler, was having dinner downtown with his family, celebrating his parents' 50th wedding anniversary, when he was approached at the table by a protester. She wanted to know when the curfew would end. He spoke with her briefly, and then said he would prefer to address this at another time, that he was dining with his family. The protester stepped back, but then was egged on by the person shooting the video with their phone. Go on, go on, go on, she said. Metro. The protester stepped back to the table and asked about the use of Metro buses to transport protesters. The panhandler's father stood up and said, "Get out of here. Leave us alone." He swatted at the phone. That person said, "You have just broken the law." Things got more heated. The panhandler and his family had to be escorted from the restaurant by the police. Another reason I worry about protests and protesters is that they believe they are acting in the service of a higher law, and the normal rules of civility, even the law itself, do not apply to them. They have a cause, and this sets them higher. Oddly enough, this puts them in a group that would include the field mouse. He believes that he has a moral obligation to perform his duties as governor, a power created by the emergency of the virus, and that power includes telling everyone in the state what they cannot and can do. Whether or not that is legal or constitutional, the field mouse doesn't care about that, because he is acting on his moral obligation, similar to the protester's cause, and that gives him the right, the higher moral ground, to do what he wants. For me, who is disturbed by righteousness, this presents difficulties and dangers. While I was uploading a video, I watched a show on PBS, shot in Cleveland, the aftermath of a situation in which a young black person, I think he was 12 years old, pointed a toy replica handgun at a white police officer who shot and killed him. The officer was cleared and is still on the force, desk duty. All of the black people in the show, and these are thoughtful, sincere, and very frightened people, frightened for themselves and their children, they believe the officer not only killed the boy, but murdered him. They also believe that police officers regularly shoot and kill black males, especially for no reason other than that they are black. They also believe in police brutality, and that would include brutality towards women as a regular practice, not some exceptional case. And there are demonstrations all over the nation for Black Lives Matter and I Can't Breathe. I would never even try to discuss this, as black people would think that I was either a straight-out white supremacist or that I simply could not understand because I was not black. So we have the coronavirus, the government reaction to that, to take control, the killing of George Floyd, the reaction to that, the government's reaction to that, the restitution of athletes who took a knee, and the gaping racial divide, and also the badly damaged economy. Safe to say, there's a lot on the plate. I want to talk about the order of the day, and that is social distancing, when what we badly need, I think, is social cohesion, but what we get is social distancing. We are not all in this together. For the virus, the distance is 6 feet. I guess that's 2 arms lengths, but it's also how deep we get buried. When it comes to the economy, the distance is of a different nature, and it is much wider. Poverty is a terrible problem, connected to a host of other ills, and it takes a near miracle for a person to escape from it. And the people who have all the money, they are nearly all white. How many black people own a baseball team? And that brings us to the greatest divide, and that is race. Right now, people see a still picture of the white cop calmly killing the black man in Minneapolis, kneeling on his neck, and they say, there it is. That says it all when it comes to police brutality and race relations in America. It's a terrible thing because, yes, incontrovertibly, there it is, that picture telling volumes. And it might be true.